Alright, all my specialty tools are coming out. And, come on, focus. Come on. There you go. This is a replacement timing belt. Don't know how old it is, but somebody did replace this. Somebody's been in here before. But we're going to replace it just so we know exactly when this last one was replaced. There is one bolt that is longer on this timing belt cover than the others, and it's down below the cam angle sensor. And when you take that one out, that's the one that's hiding this top timing belt cover. I pulled the crankshaft pulley off first, and then took off the bottom cover, and that's when I was able to find that one. And the wiring harness runs all the way down there for the crank angle sensor. What you have to do in order to get the cam angle sensor off is you need to pull the cover back and then spin this top cover down so that it's now facing the ground, because the wires run through. And then once you do that, then it exposes this connector, and then you can disconnect it and then pull the timing cover off. And that's pretty much the only way you can do it. So now that that's off, I'm gonna end up pulling all those wires back, or just pushing them out of the way. I know they disconnect. There's a clip on there somewhere, and that whole thing will just disconnect and pull away, because I had to pull an engine almost identical to this. It might have even been identical. I think it was a D17A2 in a LX01. I had to pull the entire wiring harness off and everything else just to pull this engine and transmission out as one unit. So the other thing is that I needed a 3/8 breaker bar. I bought it specifically for that last car, I remember, because that was the only thing that was narrow enough, along with a 3/8 socket, in order to fit in between this engine block and the body here and break the motor mount bolts, the front. There's 2 in the front here and 3 in the back here, and there's 3 in the top here for the alternator bracket and power steering. So I'm going to break all those free with that. This time I just used a ratchet and used a rubber mallet sitting on top of the end handle of the ratchet, and then hit the rubber mallet with another rubber mallet and just forced it down, because that gave me the clearance to get in there. Because I couldn't even get in there, I don't think, with the because the ABS was in the way on this one. So that's how I ended up doing that. So we drained the coolant this morning, so we should be fine with that. We're going to find top dead center again, because I'm pretty sure we're off. I could put the bottom belt back on, but there's the up. You can see that. Come on. There. Ooh. Yeah, there's the up. Somebody marked it with a black marker. That's not from Honda. We're going to make our lives a lot easier. What we're going to do is we're going to use whiteout, and we're going to mark, well, let's see here, we're going to mark, let's say we're going to mark here on the cam gear, there on the belt, and there on the cam gear. So that's going to give us one mark, and then when we get down there at the crank, I don't know that we can do that on this one. Well, that's going to prove difficult. Normally I can get away with that. I guess I'll just have to mark it. I don't know, make a mark like that's one tooth, and that's probably a tooth right there. Mark it somehow there so that it'll line up. And then we'll put the old belt next to the new belt, transfer those marks, so that when we put all this back together, it should be pretty close to lining up. There should be a mark on this water pump. I don't see it. There's usually a mark on this water pump, I thought I remember seeing, along with this mark right here, and it ends up pointing, lining up. I don't see that. So, I don't know, I'll find out, I'll look in the manual. But we need to get this thing back to top dead center again before we do anything. And we got to pull this crank angle sensor, I believe, and a few other things. So that's where we're at right now. It's starting to go smoothly. Just as soon as I get the rest of these pieces off, the next biggest problem is going to be pulling the seals, but I have a special tool for that hopefully is going to make life a lot easier. And apparently these things are disposable. The polar hook is perishable. Come on. Come on, you can do it. You know you want to. There we go. And it's not warranted. So we're going to get on that right